Sir, would you open us in prayer?
Sure. Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord. We thank you for everything you do. We thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us, Lord. Lord, we ask you to watch over our first responders, Lord, and give us the mind's eye of what you have done in the township, Lord. This is your township that you've entrusted us to. In the name of Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen.
Amen. And sir, would you lead, Jan, you lead us up. I did that earlier on the slide.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And sir, I'd like to have a roll call when you're ready. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Seifert?
Yes.
Flashman?
Yes.
And Mr. Black?
Yes.
On to old business, meeting minutes approval for April 3rd, 2025, regular business meeting, and the April 17th special meeting and regular business meeting.
We have to do them separately because I was not here
Okay.
on April 3rd.
Okay, so, meeting minutes approved for the April 3rd, 2025. Go ahead.
I'll second that, I'm sorry.
Here in a second, I will, ask for a roll call.
Mr. Leeser,
Abstain?
Mr. Flashman,
Yes.
and Mr. Black.
Yes.
Regular business meeting on April 17th, special and regular meetings. If I can have a second on that.
I will second that.
Now that I have the second, I'd ask for roll call.
Mr. Leeser,
Yes.
Mr. Flashman,
Yes.
and Mr. Black.
Yes.
Under new business, the FCOS, not here today. Patty Spencer with Southwest. You're up.
Oh, happy May Day, everybody. Okay, under health and safety, the Columbus Emergency Communication Center, 911, announced a deployment of next generation 911 technology. It's AI powered. It allows new text to 911 and allows residents to text their 911 in their native languages. The translator recognizes 55 languages, so as well as English.
Oh, thank you.
So if the call taker can responds in English, it's translated into their native language so the person calling would understand them. Last year, this just blew me away. I don't know if your sheriff's department knows this or not, but our 911 for Columbus, which anybody who calls 911 is then sent out to the various locations, handled 1,412,355 phone contacts, which included 671,341 911 calls, 709,381 non-emergency calls, and 31,633 text messages. Wow. Yeah, I was like, wow. So there's that. I'm sure you've all been seeing the information coming out about the Safer Downtown, which they're adding 100 new surveillance cameras, and right now they seem to be concentrating in the Short North area. So this is supposed to be monitored 24/7 from a new command center. Under transportation and education, the city of Columbus is holding a job fair Saturday, May 3rd, from 9 to 2 at the Barnett Community Center. And I have a copy of the flyer that outlines what the positions that they are going to be looking for. Last Thursday, our area commission, were invited to Brumbles at the corner of Hopkins and, Brown Road. And I must say, if any of you have, dogs, this is a fabulous place. We approved them last year to, become a dog park. It's huge inside. They have an area to acclimate new dogs, to make sure that they are other animal friendly, other dog friendly. You cannot just go, you have to, if you want to be a part of it, you have to bring your, vet records and, make sure everything's up to date, make sure your dog is licensed. And it's on a membership basis. You can go like one time for $8, but then it goes up if you want, a monthly fee or a yearly fee. So, we were very impressed. It exceeded our expectations for what they provided. So, if any of you have dogs that you like to take to dog parks, I'm gonna recommend them. And just for funsies, for May, I have a list of all the city doings. So if you're interested in any of them, you can go online and look up the particular festival or whatnot. And that's all I have.
Okay. At this time, I'll open the board for quick comments. Anyone have anything? Hearing none, I close the floor. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Public comments.
We have William Russell of 849 Richter, wants to talk about clean
This is
dumping. Something dumping, clean dumping.
Feel free to come up to our podium.
I'm gonna say this to you before you get started, your baby sure has grown. James, this is the baby that you put to sleep at the last time.
I remember.
Baby sure has grown,
A
so.
couple photos if you guys would like.
Sure, sure.
This is one example, and then this is what happens after the fact.
Are they trying to fill it in?
So,
They are.
it used to be a beautiful quarry. There's a fantastic
Yes.
article written on it a few years ago. One of the last great Columbus quarries. It was a haven for fishing, wildlife. It was beautiful. Somebody bought it from three brothers 3 years ago. It's supposed to fill in half of it at the time. Well, he's gone beyond that, and apparently he has the permits and the zoning clearance to fill the whole thing in. The problem is that picture's taken from the middle of my backyard. It's a yard and a half away from where my family's at, along with neighbors. So when they do this process now, since they're so far over, it's a quarry fed by 3 natural springs, so it's uneven, unlevel, so they say. So no matter what they do, it erodes away. It's gonna fill the whole thing in, but it comes to a point now where they're so close to our home, the dust debris flows through the backyard to where you can physically see it and you can't even open your eyes. Our kids have to go inside when they're outside when they do it throughout the day. We were given no warning that it was transitioning over there. It seems to be the property he bought still with that easement road, but with residential backing right up to it. I've not been able to find the answers for the exact distance, except for 1,500 feet from public water, like springs or aquifers. I saw something about 500 feet from a residential dwelling. I was unable to verify exactly what code that is, but I know the code sections in the Ohio Revised Code, which would be under. Ohio Code Chapter 3714 and 3745-400. Clean hard fill must be at least 1,500 feet from public aquifers, water sources, and 5 feet above an aquifer. I'm not sure if the spring qualifies as an aquifer or not. The main concern here is the health concern with the air pollution, noise concerns are second. So they dump from anywhere from 5:30 in the morning to even on Sundays, Saturday nights. It's hard to sleep through the night, but my main concern here is obviously the health factor. I've contacted Franklin County Health, Jeff Gross, I believe is his name. He came out and took a look at it. We weren't home at the time for him to stop by and talk with us about it. He said it all checks out. Well, the ironic thing about it is as soon as we started making phone calls to you guys, conversations with y'all, Franklin County, the EPA, and even the detectives about it, all of a sudden stopped.
Okay.
And cleaned the whole area.
Okay.
Said all the trucks they're normally dumping, they're not really dumping at the moment. Once
So
we start making
we're
phone
gonna
calls.
ask questions, our 3 minutes are up. We pretty much
I'm
covered
gonna ask
it.
you to give me some grace if you don't mind. We've
Are
done it
you
multiple
finished?
times
Yeah,
with other people. He's contacted me about this
Okay.
problem. I invited him to come here
Sure.
today. He took a day off of work. I won't let him finish.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll just turn it to bullet points, sorry, I lost it.
Not over.
So the health issue, with the air pollution, we got the noise pollution, but also the water contamination as well. We normally have a garden, I don't think we're planting a garden this year because of all the pollutants that are floating across. We also have chickens that we eat eggs of. It's just hard to find clear answers, but the answers that I have been able to find are people say we don't know. But I'll pull up the codes and talk to the Franklin County health guy about it. The EPA has not contacted me back yet. They're supposed to run an air pollution test. My one question is how close can you run a dumping, polluting operation to backyards of people with kids, to residential dwellings, and then what can we do about it?
There you go. That's what he wants us to give him answers.
Okay.
So,
So I have several questions. First, I remember when they started in the far corner and they
Yes.
bought that corner and stuff, and I couldn't believe they were doing it. Then I heard the same thing, they were only doing the one corner. I don't know if I spoke with you, is that, I went out there one time
yes, sir.
in regards to that. This is in the city, correct?
Yes.
It is the zoning one?
No, well, I mean, the whole, I'm gonna call it the corner.
No, it's county and city.
Okay, so it's county and city.
Half and half.
So, I got a good idea where you live, because that's the service road that goes along the back.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
So, when I look at this picture, man, that's almost, have they done anything about the fish or anything?
They're all dead.
Okay,
It's asphalt residue, fiberglass, drywall dust that they shoot in with the hose to stabilize the base, reverting back to what I was saying earlier about how the base became unstable. So, Steve Smith is the owner of the property and some of the trucks that dump over there. He instructed his guys, in quotes, to dump on that side because it's too muddy on that whole big outcropping that they filled in already.
so what you're seeing here is not a water truck, they're just,
No, that
they're
is
dumping.
debris that they shoot through a hose and it's supposed to go into the water. and Stay
Okay,
under the water, but it's like this deep where they're
Right,
at, and
right.
they filled in all of it already. So it shoots, skims the water, goes up in the air, and the residual photo is it just sits on top of the water.
right.
It doesn't go to the bottom.
So
the
there
wind
are
blows
many
it away.
concerns, because that is to the east of you, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, so many concerns are, you're on well water, right? Or are you city water?
We are city now, still have a well, and I'm not sure if other houses, 'cause we had the option to go city or sewer
Okay,
12 years ago, for a city well.
Because it wouldn't come across the road.
No. And then it also makes the road conditions hazardous there on Hart going towards Harmon, because they have cleaning trucks cleaning the road, but it puts dust about this thick, it actually puts
and you
rust
get a little
in
bit
the
of
road.
water, like a light. Yeah,
Turns into muddy ice, same thing for, 104, what about 104, something here, something like that.
so I'm,
We have well water?
because the reason that I was asking
And that
that,
would violate the 1,500 foot that's in the code,
right,
but apparently you have those permits, what the Franklin County Health guy said.
so you're talking about something, I don't know how deep that was originally, but I thought it was deep.
It was, the furthest ice fished all the time would probably be 22 feet on a rain season. But the
Okay.
majority of it's no deeper, it was no deeper than 8 feet. And apparently, the code, through permitting, what I've found is he can go up to the height of Harper, and that's on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
And my neighbor's house is in a floodplain, and I'm the first house out of the floodplain.
Right.
So if you're jacking up the land, say 20 feet
That's my next question.
above
Where's
where
the
the
water
water
going down?
used to go, where's the water gonna go now? Because the landfill's also behind that to the north.
So what what is the plans, do you know what the plans is for this property when they fill it in? Are they wanting to build on top of it?
I've heard from multiple people it's gonna be a semi-truck parking area. There's one across the street, don't think you should have that close to kids and people either. He also has pulled permits or zoning inquiries to put a building on it. But, again, I'm not the expert, that's why I came here to kind of talk about it. When it was only halfway, it was like, okay, you're far enough away. It was loud. We have a 5-year-old and then a 9-month-old. And these dump trucks dump, I'm sure everybody's heard big dump trucks dump, sounds like you're blowing a hole in a mountain. And when they're at their peak, which starts to get May 1st, they have a sign posted, start dumping every day, all day. It's just constant. Boom, boom, boom. Shakes the windows. Then our furnace filter's constantly filled up with this air debris. Our windows. It's just, our garage, it has 2 windows that open towards this quarry. I leave them cracked. And if you leave a car parked for 2 days, you go out there, the whole car, you can wipe your finger across it.
I live right across the street, and you can barely see his house from all the dirt blowing across there.
So, Mr. Mazer, I have no answers of where do we start?
John, I've already contacted the EPA and the county's looking into it.
My county contact says it's all peachy.
It's all what?
It's all peachy, it's all good. He's a lot of
Really?
that's what they said. And I've only spoken to him once on the phone. He spoke to my wife on a separate day. We were unable to meet in person. And that's where I refer back to when I was asking about the codes that I pulled and looked at. It's in the code. He's violating the code, which is the law, and the county says it's all good.
Because I'm concerned, I followed you along in the whole thing, and I'm concerned, right now, we're having rain every couple days and stuff, which is good, clear the air and stuff like that, but what's gonna happen in June, July, when we get the heat and wind and no rain?
That's horrendous. We're at the point where it's like, oh, if this continues, we have to move. Fine, but how are you gonna sell a house next to construction site?
Yeah.
Not, or close to value, enough to get out and get home.
I wish I had answers. Mr. Stevens, anything that we've not thought of to call, or?
I mean, it sounds like everybody's touched base with the appropriate people.
Yeah.
I don't have any.
Unfortunately, I mean, I can't.
The only
It's
thing
sad
that
to
I
see
can
what
think
they're
of that might help is if this board, if we get with our legal department, our next meeting, if we pass a resolution saying that, we are, against this type of, construction in this manner and what it's doing to the residents, and then send it to Franklin County, will that have an impact with Franklin County that is saying they're good? I don't know. The other thing is, it would make a good media, if you reached out to any of the media stories, any of like 6, 4, and 10. Sometimes, when that's seen on TV, things tend to happen a little bit quicker. I would be happy to work with you on that if you need be, or I know Mr. Blevins has, been talking with you, or any of us, would be happy to do that. I'm just thinking outside the box of everything that you've done as a young man. You come in here and you've addressed the board, you've given us stuff that I'm like, where do I go from here? Because everybody above us is saying, you're peachy keen. I don't buy that. I think that there's more that can be done. The greasy wheel gets, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I think that, like I said, first thing we need to do is get with Julie and see if there's any resolution that we can pass to say that we're not for this, and that there's gotta be a better way. And there's 3 entities in here. We got Franklin Township, Franklin County, and the city of Columbus, which is really a daunting task, because if they go on the city side, they said it was too muddy, et cetera, so then they wanna put you over on this side, which you're on Franklin Township, which our rules and regulations come from Franklin County, so now, what we're hearing is Franklin County is like, you're okay, everything's good the way it's gone. But with the weather that we've been having, I'm real concerned about what's gonna come next when it's dry. It's gonna be worse.
What about a petition?
Well, we could do a
The
petition.
neighborhood
I
get up a
understand.
petition.
And where does the petition go to?
Back.
You know what I mean? If they're already saying it's peachy keen, so what I'm trying to do is to say, if the board of Franklin Township is against this and what they're doing, and send that to the county, will that have more leverage than the residents having a petition? Because, you know, I'm not against a petition, but what I'm trying to think of, what's gonna give you the most bang for the buck? And it can't hurt, that's for sure. But I'm trying to look at a way to say, okay, we need to get some people out here and look at this, and we need to get people out here now because, of what we're seeing. The roads, chief, the roads having that kind of black, I'm gonna call it black silt, whatever, and stuff like that. What can we do about that?
Well, the first drive is not really a roadway, it's a driveway.
Okay, so theirs, but does it affect ours?
I mean, it could to some degree, I know it does on Hart Road, but they use typically street sweepers to clean the mud and stuff off per the, you know, county's guidelines.
Okay,
I stopped using Hard Road because of
Yeah, I mean, the dust is terrible, it is.
okay, so, Mr. Arnold, what in the fire service, would we be able to, I mean, I know the fire service deals a lot with EPA, get the foam and stuff that we use, so there's different agencies that we deal with. Is there anything that you can think of that you could add to this? Okay. So, I've got 3 of my department heads, and I'm trying to think as we're all here together. And I think the biggest thing is if we send something to the county commissioners for Franklin County, they basically set like we do and they're over the county. If we send a resolution that we pass as a board to them and then visit them, I'll be more than happy to attend one of their meetings. If you're able to go to the meeting, and we can address this there, that would be great. Meanwhile, I would not be afraid to reach out to any of the 6, 4, and 10 and invite them out to see what's going on. That also gets people's attention because the departments that are saying, you're good, their bosses is gonna watch us on TV and go, we need to get some attention and look at this. Then things tend to happen. It's almost called shaming, but it's not, it's telling the truth of what residents are having to live in and that they shouldn't. Just for the glorification of somebody filling in a quarry, a body of water to do what? Park semis on. And will the code permit them to park, are they planning on parking on gravel, dirt? There's, wells in the area, underground aquifer that we know about because they're covering it up. So you're gonna have diesel fuel, contaminants and things of that nature leaching into the soil. So are they planning on having a surface of some sort, a concrete or asphalt? Because I believe nowadays you cannot just park trucks on a gravel lot. So there's a lot of questions that we can ask. I'm just trying to think of what would give us the biggest bite to make them say, oh, we can change this. Us as trustees can only try to think outside the box and try to remedy something. We don't have any authority to be able to shut it down or stop them. But that doesn't mean that we can't come up with something.
The number on this sheet is your contact number I can reach you at. The number you filled out.
Yes, if you can read it.
Okay. All right. All right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do
If not,
something.
I have hers.
So I'm gonna do something a little bit different, because I see residents are here. I'm gonna open the floor for any quick comments that we may not have covered on this.
I did talk to the truck driver, I think it was the Strasser truck he had a picture of. And the dust was blowing and he kept pulling me aside. He's like, we don't wanna breathe this in, we need to move. We don't wanna breathe this in. I'm like, what about my kids sitting outside where it's all blowing?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was just told to be here, I don't know. Steve dispatched me over here. So, was like, okay, well, they're
Okay.
all breathing it in anyway,
That's when I
whether,
seen all that dirt blowing all
And
through
then
the
for
neighborhood.
our officers, you know,
Ever seen this one, Jim?
if we are seeing dirt and stuff and we have a good PC, we may as well see if they got, if they're a certified driver, if they've got their CPA, or not CPA, CDL license. Who knows, if they're willing to do this, do they actually have drivers that have CDL?
And those large trucks going up and down Richter Road, I don't believe that that road should have those large
And
trucks.
these are a lot of questions that, Chief, if your department can, you know, do what they can do, not to make trouble, but to actually make sure they should be there and that people operating the trucks should be operating the trucks.
Right.
Because if they're operating in this capacity, potentially, is there anything else? Because we need to do what we can do. And then you had a question.
This apparently is within area commission area,
Yeah.
right? And I think I heard you say that part of that property was Columbus?
Yes.
Zone Columbus. I spoke to somebody Columbus zoning, and they said it's Franklin County zoning for that whole property, so it fits in the, I forget the word for it, zone.
Probably
The
address.
east side of that, from my understanding, along, what road is that goes on Hart Road?
Right there,
Was
Martin
it,
Hahn.
was city or something, I thought part of it, cause when they originally started, cause I could be on your side looking over in that corner on the right side, and I'm like, what are they doing? And that was just a year ago when I was
Less
called
than a
out
year.
there, and looking at that.
I'm thinking you're gonna need very specific outline of what is Columbus Park, and do 311 and ask for code enforcement. Have the complaint go.
Or
through
go
code
online and
enforcement.
Google 311, it's
Okay.
easier to send in an email.
Yeah, send an email,
I did that.
Okay.
I've done that one.
you've done that,
Yeah.
and code enforcement,
Yeah, well,
talk
there's
to
a-
you or zoning, it's two separate.
I went to both, because the answers I got were much like others with zoning, is, oh, we're not really sure.
Well,
Because that's the only guys, there's a detective looking at it, working on it.
William.
okay.
Really spoken with,
Oh,
not necessarily sure. if it's
Our
done.
area commission meets next on May 13th here, at 6:30. If you wanna come stop in, we do have a city liaison, that attends our meetings. And maybe if you talked about it, between her and maybe some of us can at least address the Columbus portion of it and how.
So the more attention that we get to this, I think a lot of people will then start saying, oh, we need to take another look at this. And the reason that they're working quickly is to get as much done as possible before potentially them getting shut off from doing any more. But what we would like to do is see a cease and desist, until this has been looked at. And I think, sir, if Julie's able to put something in, that we would like to see a cease and desist until certain studies in air pollution are, done to make sure that this is in a safe manner. However, us just sitting here and looking at this, we know that that's not gonna pass any type of, someone coming out and doing an air pollution, et cetera, especially with the amount of dust and dirt and the debris. Is that any cancerous stuff going in the ground? There's gotta be a lot of questions about what they're putting in the ground, especially with the two aquifers that converge, three aquifers that converge. I am shocked that we have not seen any action on that through any other agencies to come out right away and see if that's something. You know, you might have spilt some oil from changing oil in your car and they're right on you. You know, but something like this, they're not right out right away. I'm just shocked. So at this time, I appreciate you. We're gonna go on. Is there anything else that you have for us?
How would I go about the cease and desist process?
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna request that in our next meeting to see if we can get that,
From our lawyer.
from our side, from our attorney, a resolution that would be read here. And then I would like to send it to the county commissioners. Don't be afraid to reach out to county commissioners right now, look them up online. Each commissioner has their own secretary. explain what's going on, send some photos, and et cetera. So, a lot of, the more that people hear about this, then, obviously when it comes around, more action could take place from that. So I encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. We're gonna work on our end, and hopefully this will come out, great for everybody in our community.
Thank you.
So, thank
Sorry you
you.
had to take the day off to come, but I think it's gonna benefit you. And I'll keep, with Mr. Mazer, and I'll keep you up to date, a few days at a time, okay? Because we don't meet for 2 more weeks, but I'm gonna try to get you whatever information we're able to get.
Sure.
When he speaks to the lawyer, I'll try to get it to you, okay?
Okay. Is
Will
there
you, not to interrupt you, who is the property owner?
Steve Smith.
Steve Smith. Is there a company that,
He owns a company, Steve Smith Hauling or something. He owns a couple other properties
Okay.
there on, Harmon.
okay,
I think it was called.
That's it, brother, unless you got something else.
Their phone number, I can send pictures to actively, or if my wife's not in the neighborhood.
There's
Your
mine,
phone number?
my card and everything,
I don't have mine.
and then you can check with Nicole, she'll have something.
Yeah, Nicole has mine here. I got one, an old one.
You guys do
You have my number.
I'm sorry?
You guys do handshake?
Yes,
Thanks.
thank you. Thank you for coming in, and,
Yep.
we,
Okay.
the only way sometimes that we know of these things happening is people coming to the meeting to tell us. We may have not known that if we're not always driving the area. So people in our community, you see something, say something, and that's very important. It makes a big difference when you have, I can easily go to each department head and ask, is there something else that we can do? When all of us are in a room together, it makes a huge difference. So that was good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vicky DiMatteo, 3124 Fisher Road, the podium is yours, ma'am. You have 3 minutes.
Oh, Lord.
Too much time? You
No,
don't have
not
to
enough.
finish the whole 3 minutes.
Okay, the reason why I'm here is from where I live, I have an acre right next to me, and then there's a building. I don't know, it's a company that owns it. And in back, they do countertops. In front is that Rosa entertainment thing, and then the taco truck.
Yes.
Well, between my land and where there are parked vehicles that have been there a year with no license plates, expired tags, and they just park up and down. And then, when me and my husband were here some months back, we had the map, and Cromwell Drive, and you guys couldn't figure out who owned it. So I called Franklin County zoning. Franklin Township owns it. Franklin County owns the one off of El Paso,
Okay.
but Franklin Township owns it. Now, they're putting illegal cars on there. John Maynard is who I talked to at Franklin County zoning. I want them vehicles gone. I mean, more and more keep coming. You said you went over and looked,
We spoke about this, was it 2 weeks ago?
because I know there for a while, I was seeing people go in the back, because it's wooded, and then a creek, and then we own the land in the back that goes to the freeway. People going in there, coming out, I don't know if someone's at a homeless camp or whatever. I have no problems with the people that rent that, but when I was gone a week and came home last night, I've noticed now, there's the gravel, well, there ain't gravel there no more, but, Cromwell Drive, and then there's a strip of grass that is owned by the township too. They're coming over further and further cutting our grass, and they only cut it when no one is home. They know our vehicles. So, I want the vehicles gone. I want some signs posted or something saying, no parking. I'm gonna order some today and put them up where the property line is. But it's just getting worse instead of better. And, a couple months back, I seen the fire department go back there, someone cut their hand or something.
It's
They
on
have
the-
to go down that and then turn that sharp corner, and then they have to, it's a real sharp turn. You've been down there, John, you see it.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you too, Jim, but I mean, what can we do?
Okay. So, it's ironic that you came in today for this. It is on our agenda. We have noticed that the cars that are parking, we've already talked to our road department about putting signs up that says you can't park here. And then next we'll get with our police, and then we have a tow company. So, exactly.
Get them out of there.
So what we have to do is we have to do it in a systematic way, so that we, unfortunately, you ever heard criminals have more rights than us? We have to go through a certain procedures to get the signs up so that they are correct. Then, after a certain point, then it gets passed over to the chief, and then our officers can go through there. We call a tow truck, they tow them.
Yeah, you know, because
I'd wait to see what Mr. Mazur has to say.
I
before
just-
keeping in
I-
contact.
I get flustered. I mean, I don't
Sure, I
bother
understand,
people,
yeah.
but it's, you know, if they wanna park there, then you guys should charge them. Because it's your property.
Right.
They are parking illegally.
No, we don't wanna sell it to them because it'd be a worse problem.
Take care of it right now?
You wanna take, okay, go ahead. Well, we'll let you go ahead and have a seat,
Okay,
and then this was on the agenda, so we're gonna move it up now.
well, you know, God lives in mysterious ways still.
Okay,
Is Mrs. DiMatteo?
Yes,
In fact, when were we there? Last week?
We were there last week.
We were there last week, and we see the dilemma that you're experiencing. And, my first thought, not knowing anything really about the situation, and you explained this, you have what, 3/4 of an acre?
I have an acre.
An acre, okay. So in talking with Mr. Stevens, I said, what the DiMatteo should do, and I think you addressed it, put up no trespassing signs on your property. And then I think, chief, right of entry, you need something that you can,
Yeah, is the, just so I'm clear in my own
Yeah.
head, is it just property that we own, or is it actually a dedicated?
It's a dedicated street.
Okay.
It is Cromwell Drive,
Okay.
and then there's a strip of grass. When Dave Disselhorst owned it years ago, there's a driveway that goes into his property that he rented,
Yeah,
and then it comes out on Fisher Road. It makes a U-turn.
So-
Truckers and all that use that.
right, so is Cromwell Drive part of the gravel that goes around the building, or is it the grass to the west?
It's
Goes
the,
straight.
it's the go
Yeah.
straight.
Gravel?
yes,
Okay.
yes, just
Yeah.
straight.
Well, there's no gravel there now. There's big holes. But
Okay.
it's that and then the strip of grass.
Okay, now I know where it is.
You get what I'm saying? So that's,
I guess my question is,
Hmm.
to simplify this, if Mrs. DiMatteo puts no trespassing in her green space,
Mhm.
does that give us the ability, if she'd like us to go in and get people off the
Totally.
property?
Yeah, I
yes,
can,
because it's your property.
I
Well,
can,
it's your, no, your green space, your 1 acre.
Yeah, well, they park right on the line, but now they're cutting grass way over into our property, and they only do it when we're not there.
are they parking on your property too?
They do sometimes when they have parties,
Well, that was my next question.
Okay,
you know, and a lot of times they will come through the land and go out my driveway.
use it as a cut through, because there's
Exactly,
so many cars that they can't, they're blocked in, and someone wants to leave early, they drive across
And-
your property to your driveway.
right, I don't know on the place where they have the party house, what's the limit of people occupancy there? I don't know.
So we did check on that. Chief, you have anything to add about where we were when we checked on the party house and how many people? It was split at one time, and then I know Todd was working on that. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, as far as I understand, they're abiding by
Code.
fire code, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, I haven't had no problems with them, and I don't have problems with the the truck, taco truck or whatever.
okay,
He has great business, let me
okay.
tell you. I have no problem with that, it's just all them
Okay.
Well,
vehicles that are just sit there.
Well, it's 2 questions. So we would have the ability, if you put no trespassing signs up, for the chief to go in and remove cars or ticket cars. Is that,
correct, as an abandoned vehicle, so there's 2 ways you can handle that. We can certainly do it that way, but it would be an abandoned vehicle, and we have to tag it for 72 hours.
but if
Which-
they're, oh, I'm sorry, chief, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if they're there for a party, they're gonna be gone anyway. I can connect her with a person from, say, Capital Towing, where they put up signs, and then anytime somebody parks on your property that doesn't belong, you call the number, and they simply come and take the car.
Right, but where they're parking now is
Okay.
not
It's-
my property, it's the township.
It's the second question
Yes,
I
it
have.
is the township's property,
So,
but I look at it all the time.
So what we could do, hopefully, is put up signs through the company and let them just cruise it every now and then, like when you're in younger years up on campus, you park the wrong place, you come back, your
You
car's
know,
gone.
If I had a bunch of abandoned cars in my driveway, you guys would be there
Right.
ticketed, but you're not ticketing them, and you're not towing them away.
Well,
And it's the townships. John Maynard, you can call him, it's Franklin County zoning.
okay.
I talked to him, and he said it is the townships.
So here's what we're at now. This was on the agenda to take
Okay.
care of today. So what my question is for Jim and Chief is, can we put signs up on our property if you park here and just let the tow company handle it?
well,
We can put up no parking
Yeah,
signs down through there, enforceable no parking signs. I think we'd have to take it through our legal like we normally do. And that's what we're kind of waiting on right now, is a direction on what signs to put there.
So that's my
Right.
question. Since it's the township property as it is now, if we go through a tow company and they put their signs up, they handle it, we don't,
I was just gonna say, if it's a dedicated roadway, we're still talking about,
It's just property.
It is.
so
It
it's not
is-
still the roadway,
It is dedicated property to the township.
but it's,
Even though the road has gravel,
yeah,
there's
what is
some of the
Toledo doesn't
grass
do?
that is,
they're off the edge of the gravel.
Well, that's
They
fine.
pull in this way.
So if we put up no parking signs, we still enforce it with the right of way.
Right. They're parked in the right of way and not on the gravel. Sometimes they park on the gravel and up
Yes.
against a building when they have
It'd
parties.
still be like it was a roadway.
yes. And where the building is, there's like a piece of grass, which is owned by whoever the owner is of that property. I've tried looking, and it's a company. But where the gravel
Right.
starts and goes over to where the end of the cars park, that is owned by you guys, by the
Okay.
township.
So, to the board, what I would say that we do, instead of, getting Julie involved and putting up signs and then ticketing them and doing that, is if it is indeed our property and we know exactly what is ours without question, we go and put signs 2 inches from your property saying, all cars will be towed. That gives the tow company the opportunity to cruise through there. If you would like and you see cars there, you call that, they would love to hear from you. Hey,
I'm sure.
there's cars sitting out here, they will come and tow them, because that's how they make their living. It costs the township nothing to do, we enter into a contract. Did you have a question? Chief?
I have one for
Okay.
you, chief. I don't know that Capital goes out and actively
Yeah.
goes out and patrols looking, that's not the type of business they're in, like up when you go up to
Not
OSU
Shamrock.
and these places
Yeah.
are out
Right.
working these parking lots. It would only get activated if someone called them and said, go get the car, correct?
Or our
Correct.
officers see it.
Yeah,
So
And
there's,
once we start, whether it's towing, writing tickets, or whatever, once we start enforcing something, it'll come to an end. They're not going to want to have their car impounded, they're not gonna want to have their car ticketed. Once you start this, it'll stop, but we need to get this lady some
and
satisfaction
in the
and get
back,
it started.
there is nothing but cars that don't run, and I don't know if it's from the place that works on them
I
down
was gonna
there.
ask you, was those the ones that's untagged and?
Well, all of them are untied, even down where I look out my back door and those cars that are all, and then they have a trailer that they put all their scraps and stuff in. I don't think a lot of them are
I think these are
Okay.
parts cars.
exactly or something,
Chief,
but
can you swing by there and take a look at it? If you want me to meet you out there, I'll be more than happy to.
yeah, that way
but-
we put up the signs we need to. Either way, we can fix the problem.
you know, it would be greatly appreciated. I've lived there 40-some years and have never
It's
had
just become
this.
an issue in the last year.
About four years. It's just getting worse.
Okay.
And then, you know, I didn't know people were living in the back, homeless. You said you walked over there.
I didn't walk in the woods, 'cause I
Chief,
didn't know
if we
whose
can find
woods
out
it
if we
was.
have homeless there and see what's going on,
If there's woods there,
yeah.
there's homeless.
You know, because I've seen people coming back. At first, I thought before, when I came here about 6 months ago, because I don't think the back building had a bathroom. And I think they were going back there to use the bathroom.
Okay, so, at this time, Mr. Mazer,
He has a question for the chief.
Chief, do we have to get the no parking signs?
Yeah, even if we own if it's a roadway, then we would treat it like we do Chippewa, and then we enforce it, and we use our tow company, of course.
Okay.
If it's private property, and we can go out there and look at it, then we can put up the other signs with capital.
okay,
You know, and I don't see many of the officers. I would like it if at least a couple times a week, they just drove down through there and go around the building to see what else. You know, I don't wanna cause anybody problems. I just want,
you're a resident, you have every right to one.
No, that's
That's
good.
what you are here for. This is what you're supposed to do.
you know, I just want peace.
Okay, well, this is one way to get it, you came to the right place.
I know.
So, my question to the board and to the chief, at this point, can the board turn this over to Mr. Mazer and it be done, or is there any action that's gonna need done, from the board at this point?
I'm assuming with once we determine the signage, you may need resolutions,
Okay,
probably.
so we'll get the process started.
Did you raise your hand, Jim?
Yeah, I did, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
When I looked into that part of Cromwell is not part of the road mileage, so it's not really considered, the county doesn't consider that.
It's just
an
like
actual-
us-
But
It's just
it would
like
be
our
a private
property.
property, and that's all I wanted to say, it's not, and I don't know how that would change the signage that we would put on there. But
That's
that
why I was
little-
asking,
That part of the
because-
road isn't considered into our
Right,
road.
so the whole gravel alongside the building is,
When we were up there the other day, it looks like where the gravel's now encroached even like further
Mhm.
over
Right.
that part of the property. I know it's kind of a sliver that kind of.
but they do have an access drive, correct? That's
They have
theirs.
one that's right on the edge of their building.
Right.
That goes back.
So even if we had to, we could easily put some posts and run a couple cables down through there.
Yes.
And, I mean, that doesn't take us a lot of attorneys and signs
You'd
and,
have to take it all the way to the woods,
Yeah.
from the roadway all the way to the woods.
well, that would be a long ways.
That would be a lot.
No,
But even like
Not really.
where she's at, because it does kind of get trees and stuff. But even if we went from there to the front of the building, it would be probably, what, 100 feet?
Is that entrance?
Yeah.
Is that
Not the
entrance
entrance.
Franklin County?
Well, I'm talking from
Or
where the
from-
building sets.
Yeah.
The building sets, if we put, some
Cable would
poles with,
That's expensive.
cable, even if it's just one cable, and we just went all the way down to the back of the building.
And then make notification with the people in the building that
Yes.
that's the reason
Yeah.
why this is up there.
But if we did that, we can do that immediately tomorrow if we were, wanted to. And then we still could put up our signs, but that's an action that we could take right away. If we had some old utility poles, cut them in half, go dig it down, drill it down, however you guys do it. And, put them in, put one cable through, and it just gives them the point that, hey, no parking.
But here's the thing. If you put it close up to the building, you still have the road. They're still gonna park if you don't put something clear to where the woods start. They're
Right.
still gonna go around and cut through
Yeah,
and park
because
it.
with private property signs.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're trying to do something. Let us get
Okay.
something going.
Okay,
And then we can come back and wonder why the frog bumped its rear.
okay.
So if at least we can get an aspect going and do this and let the people know. And then we can worry about the backside as we go along, because I like to take action right away.
Okay, that's good. And if, I live right there, so if anybody has any questions, you can come knock on my front door,
Okay,
because we keep, okay. All
One
right,
more.
thank you.
thank you.
Virgil, I think it's Virgil Love, 1666 Peabody.
Yes.
You have 3 minutes, sir.
got the property at 1660 Peabody in Bridgeville.
Uh-huh.
And, this company, auto body company moved right in next to me.
Okay,
And all there is between us is just a fence. And we got a building right next to the house. I mean, it's right next to the house. You can hardly squeeze in between them. They open the door and they're in there sanding and grinding on cars and painting. And you can't sit outside and smell the paint and the body. You ever smell, where they put the body stuff in it? Yeah, the Bondo, fiberglass, and the paint. You can't sit outside, and they got air compressor running all the time until 10, 11 o'clock at night.
They worked all night last night. After you left, Randy, they
Mhm.
opened the garage back up and they were working at 6 o'clock this morning.
And she was late getting here because she couldn't get out because they parked behind us. The parking's right there, and they parked the trucks right behind us, and we can't get out the driveway.
There's a line of cars, they're moving them in right now. There's like 3
It's just a
semi
little
trucks over
problem.
there.
They probably got 20 cars there right now. They keep bringing them in.
I got questions when you're done.
Yeah, when you're done, I got questions.
We moved out a couple of the girls in the tents.
So
I
wanna
just
give
did
you
that
your full- I
yesterday.
wanna give you your full 3 minutes to speak before we speak.
And across Peabody, with the road track, and then it's got cars all along, stacked up all along there. And it's just a mess, there's no room.
Okay.
And the whole Bridgeville right there, how all these businesses get in a private area where people live, and they got all these big white trucks coming through all the time, and tow trucks, and blocking the roads.
I'm trying to picture where this is.
It's back by the railroad tracks.
Send it to Tom.
It's just like over there,
Yeah.
Bridgeville.
But I
Is
know
it,
that
is it
sounded
across
familiar.
the street?
Peabody?
I hate to take up your time with the question.
That's good.
Is
No,
it
it's
across
gonna
the
be a
street
real
from the old
serious-
auto pawn place
Yes, yeah.
and,
Yep. And there's a bunch
used to be a motor building shop or
Engineering builders.
auto parts shop on the same side?
Yes.
So it's that fenced in area by the,
He's talking about where you go down around the curve, not the fenced in area,
No.
but just on this side of the fenced in area.
okay.
Yeah, Bridgeville's only from like
Yeah.
French Road to Bridgeville, a little community.
So is it where they used to kick the gravel on the road, that little workshop?
On a
In that curve?
and we've been down there multiple times.
Yeah,
Cars
it's the
parked on
curve,
road,
but they have moved on down.
all on the other
They
side
they
of
bought the
chambers.
building next to me,
Yeah.
and that's why there's a line of trucks right now.
I think she's got,
Okay.
go ahead, Nicole.
So, I've been talking with the special agent with the railroad company. Me and the, police department, we already have a plan. An officer's gonna go out and they're gonna sticker every single car along the railroad side, all the way down Peabody, every car in the grass. They're gonna sticker every car. We have
When's that gonna
72
happen?
hours to move those vehicles.
They're unloading them right now.
Well, then I guess we gotta
I
get more
know.
stickers.
I mean, I had to ask them to move so I could get my car out.
Yeah.
Come here.
So, an officer's gonna sticker every single car, and we have to make a list of every car. And then I gotta send that list over to the special agent. He just has to sign the form saying that we can remove them from the railroad's property. And then after 72 hours, whatever is still there, we can have towed away. So obviously that
Can we
doesn't,
also do like the signs, like the no parking? Like, do I
Well-
gotta keep going next door to ask them to move
yeah,
so I
it's
can
not
get
our
out?
property, it's the railroad's property. So we can't put up no parking
But the
signs for
street
them.
itself,
I mean, that would be, if they're parking in the street, that would be them parking in the right of way.
so if I park my car in the street when I get home, I'm okay?
Well,
I'm just saying, like, how do I
so-
get out?
I guess like,
I can't get
I can't
out
really
on my
say,
road.
cause that'd be like, people parking along the side of the street on a curb.
Yeah.
So there's no curbs over there, so I don't know what the law is with that. But
Okay.
with their vehicles like parked on that far side and in the grass, I can take care of that.
Yeah.
As far as other vehicles, if they're blocking your driveway, I don't know if that's a issue that you need to call the police department for. That's something probably Byron can help you with. But at least all those other vehicles down there, we're gonna take care of that as soon as we can.
Thank you.
If you're blocking it, you just call them.
It's every day.
And we'll just. get the
Every
car.
day.
What about
They
them
then
working
have to
right next?
pull the girls out there.
That's my next question. So here's what I'm wondering is, I know people that have, businesses that they do painting and et cetera. they have to have a paint booth, they have to have a very expensive system that captures the fumes and all of the things that go with it. They can't just make their paint booth and then just spray and it goes into the atmosphere. So,
Mr. Measure said he's gonna get it with.
If you give me that information, they're painting cars in there.
They were doing it yesterday
I-
and last night.
I don't think that they are zoned to be able to do that, so
They're not.
I can submit that to zoning. Is it the shop that's right there on the corner,
The
at the
And
curb?
John George used to have.
Or is it the one further down, like in the middle ways of Peabody?
Towards the chambers.
They're
in the
clear down to
middle
the
way.
middle.
Okay, it's the shop that's like in the middle of Peabody.
Yeah, then
Okay.
another little building in the
It's
back.
the one on the corner, those are the
Okay.
same people.
Do you happen to know what the physical address to that building is?
1661.
Okay, I'll submit that to, our zoning enforcement officer.
okay, so as you can see, I'm glad to say that we were pretty much alerted to this and we've already been working on it. So it's great again that you come to our meeting. As I said to the other resident, if you see something, say something. That's what these meetings are for, so you can address your board of trustees for Franklin Township. So that's very important. So I know that, we've got the police here, everyone's here,
Add us to the list, I'm sure they're violating fire code.
okay? So we can
Oh,
send them
and it's
over
right next to
and,
my house.
and check it. So the beauty
Road, you
is,
might as well go by too.
I've been by and I've spoke with Captain Breaker about it, and I've actually had to stop in to the one on the curb multiple times, because that's my route, like when we're down in there plowing, there's times you can't even get around there because of cars, and there's somebody, I think, still living in that camper.
There is.
They've stretched an extension cord through there,
Yeah.
well, the amount of times that we plowed this winter, I took that extension cord out.
Yeah, this is
Times
down,
as I'm plowing, so.
they moved down from the curb down this way. and
But
caught that
they
little
seem
building.
to not.
They tell me the same thing. They say they just say we don't speak English.
I get out of the truck and that's.
So I went straight over into the trees and got rid of the girls 2 days ago.
Okay.
And there's still bags of trash back there. Now it's going all down. There was a big grocery cart on the railroad track.
Yeah, there's a
Well,
lot of homeless people.
I'm glad that you're bringing this to our attention because, we will use all of our resources and our resources sit in this room. So they're hearing it firsthand and we don't have to try to direct them. They heard what you said
Yeah.
and I'm sure you'll see us out there. So I want to thank you very much.
I'll drive by there this afternoon.
Was there any, like a certain time of night that they should be like closing down?
We have a sound ordinance and
Oh.
chief, that is at 10 o'clock?
Mhm.
Yeah, so they can't be working all night long. So that was.
They were all night long last night.
I can assure you that one of our officers will be by there tonight to see if they're working.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Who else do we have on there?
We have a county guy here, but I don't know if he, and the young lady, I don't know if they have anything for us.
Did we have anyone else? We have three.
No,
people.
we're done.
Okay, and then from the county, ma'am, do you have anything for us to address?
Well, the same resident that had made a complaint about the drug activity,
Yes.
it happened again. The resident called me and I, talked to the detective from our unit. And they actually made the arrest. The lady that is running the show there, she was arrested along with some other people. And they signed a lot of drugs inside
Sure.
the house. So they trying to work with the landlord to make sure that he doesn't rent that unit to the same people.
Yeah, because there was shooting at one time and stuff
Correct.
like that, and then you got them out of there, and then they came right back.
But the lady was left behind, the one that was renting the residence.
It's like not getting all the root of the weed out, it comes back.
Exactly, so then the neighbor, the resident that called here, he called me again, he said, I don't know, it's back again, but it's full force. So then I called our sergeant and he started, doing what they have to do, the procedure. And then he texted me and say, hey, we made an arrest, everybody's been out of the house, it shouldn't happen again, and they working with the landlord.
Gotcha. Okay, well, thank you very much, I appreciate that, and thanks for the work that you do, because that
Is
helps
there
our.
anything I can do to help out? You said that people, they spoke another language,
Right.
did they speak Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay, I can help if you
Yeah.
want me to.
And you, after the meeting, if you guys can
Yeah.
get together and then give her more particulars, that would be great.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Okay.
there's a language barrier and,
No, they
Instead of
just
talking
mess
about-
with you.
okay.
They just smile at me and like, act like they, like, you know. So then it just makes me mad. That's what made me have to go over to behind the trees, and then I seen all the trash and I thought I better just get back out of there. But
Okay.
I look out my kitchen window and you could see everything going on out there.
Chief
I'm
Smith,
available if you let me know.
okay, thank you guys very much.
Not a lot today. Especially covered somewhere. We do have the stats for April, we're gonna do those first. 1,092 calls for service, 10 assist other units, 44 domestics, 9 burglaries, 3 dog bites, 100 auto crashes. Wow. 3 sex offenses, 2 robberies, 1 shooting, 2 persons with a gun, 12 stolen vehicles, 4 recovered stolen vehicles, 5 suicide attempts, 10 vandalisms, 12 threats or harassments, 50 alarm drops, 8 assaults, 53 suspicious persons with vehicles, 3 missing persons, 32 thefts, 8 juvenile complaints, 5 fights, 8 alcohol-related crimes, 3 overdoses, 90 reports taken, 143 traffic stops, 84 citations, and 49 impounds.
Wow. Yeah,
A little slow this month, huh?
A little bit.
okay.
Any questions or any questions?
I didn't hear, any, you may have said it, any, noise ordinance.
No.
So we've had in the last month, is that a month?
Yes.
There was no infraction for noise.
No one called in.
Okay.
Now that the weather is broken, we are gonna start up our Narcan outreach again. If the board is okay with it, I would like to try it out front again on Wednesdays when we're out in the parking lot. Just to see if we get people for it, because obviously it's in the township, and it's township property. It is a big parking lot, so there is plenty of room for people to go in. So we would do that Wednesdays from probably noon.
Good with that. I think that's
We have an issue, which Carol took care of this for us, on Ray Avenue. I think she sent out pictures of, individuals sleeping in a tent with a dog. And we got there yesterday, she had already moved them away. While she was out there cutting however many acres of grass that was.
Carol, I don't know what we do without you. I don't know what you would do without that property. I mean, that keeps you young at heart, even though that's not a good thing.
That keeps me meaner than a snake.
I just can't get over how
We did
people
notice
do that.
too.
You haven't seen the messages I've received.
There's been issues of liquid dumping into the quarry, which our environmental detective is working on.
The quarry that we're
The
talking,
same one we were
Okay,
talking about,
gotcha.
yeah. We don't know what the liquid was, or really anything like that, but he was working diligently on
okay.
that. And, let's see, and then we have issues at the car lot 162. So we have re-advised them of the noise ordinance that we have, that we're enforcing. Apparently, they allow an individual to live there, which is not zoned residential, so that's also been turned over to zoning. So we are gonna work with Kelsey, the zoning agent, and see what we can do to help. Not only the noise is ours, so we'll take care of that, but as far as the cars and things like that, because the cars are getting out of hand. So we're gonna work with zoning to try to clean that up.
So, I know 62 is basically not us, Jim may have to help here. This 15 feet from the center line setback and all of that type stuff doesn't apply to 62 because those cars are so close to 62 that you wouldn't have the ability, if you had a flat tire, to pull off and be off the road. I can't imagine that it's okay to park those cars that close to 62, irregardless if it's township or not township.
I would almost have to, off the top of my head, I'm not really sure what the right of way would be there on Harrisburg Pike, and you're right, it'd be so much off center line both ways. But I agree with you, I don't think that can be parked right up along the edge of the road like that.
And that's city, correct?
That's-
No,
that's
it's
us.
us. I mean, it's ODOT, but it's,
That's state.
It's our district.
so anything
They're
over,
right, like ODOT's right away.
yeah, anything
So let's
past
start
that,
tagging them.
so anything past the white line to the grass is ours. So the thing of it is, they have to be tagged, so we have the whole 72-hour thing unless it's in the roadway. As soon as you hit the white line, you're not technically in the lane of travel. So that's kind of our issue we have. Because they're gonna be gone within 3 days, like, we tag them, but the thought is, if we tag them enough, and we irritate them enough, they stop putting them out.
That's right.
So we're just gonna keep that.
This business just basically continues to thumb its nose at the township on everything. They're the ones that went in, it's the old Don's Market.
Yeah.
Just went in and plowed the side of the lot, and it does nothing but collect water.
Mhm.
We're gonna have mosquitoes this summer. And like I said, they have plenty of land if they would just do the appropriate surface and put their cars down there, but they don't wanna do that.
No, they don't
They
want
just
to.
continue, and this is the one where the noise ordinance, that when I was on vacation, I called you, the lady sent the recording and stuff like that, so I'd like to see us start invoking the noise ordinance. That's why I asked the question about why no noise ordinance on his report he gave. People have to start calling that in, there is a noise ordinance,
Right.
and then he can go and enforce it, but if he doesn't get calls, he can't go and enforce it.
And we are, I'm sorry, John, I was just gonna say, we are proactively gonna be checking on that noise and also the one on Peabody.
I noticed the old ding ho behind the side, whatever street that is over there off of Broad Street. When they're starting to really back that car lot is, 2 inches from the road. The mirrors hang over in the road. We've had that before there where they, I don't know, if you had to wanna test drive a car, it was in the middle, they'd have to move 15 cars to get that car out.
So one issue we had with them, was with all the road construction on Broad Street, they were actually parked in the right of way, just like we're talking about with 62, and those cars had to be towed because of the construction. So now they're parking on Viotis in the other right of way. So, Officer Baldwin just went up earlier before I came in here to take care of those cars.
Okay.
If their excuse is the old Pet Boys or whatever lets us park there, well, that's not really their property, because it's easement.
Right.
So if they wanna let you park in their lot, that's fine.
Yeah, cause I did see them parking in the lot before and I did go over and ask, are you guys letting them do that? And they said, yeah. I said, does corporate know that they're doing that? Or did you just say, yeah, park there? And they just shrugged their shoulders. It's private property. It's beyond us at that point.
But the easement, we can take.
Yeah.
Even if it's the 72-hour, they'll have to move the car.
Yes,
Yeah,
And
they gotta put it
we
somewhere.
win, you understand what I'm trying to
They're
say?
gonna move it one way. or the
They're
other.
not gonna want it to go there impounded, they're not gonna, you put a 72-hour sticker on it, it's gonna get moved, and that's the effect that we're looking for.
And they don't wanna wait until that 72, there's no leeway,
Right.
you know, and it's not necessarily at that 72nd or 73rd hour, so.
Okay. Anything else for us?
No, sir, that's all I have.
Okay. Next up is the fire chief.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Good seeing you the other day.
Good seeing you.
Just have some statistics from April for you. Your fire department took 810 total runs, 121 of those in the township. 8 of those were building fires. We had 4 cardiac arrests with 1 saved before the ER. And then that's 810 runs with Medic 193 being out of service due to staffing levels for 11 days of April. Medic 192 was out for 4.5 days in April. And all of Station 192 was out of service for 1 day in April. So that was a total of 416 and a half hours that we were not fully staffed and we were down equipment, which equals 17 and a half days. which brings us to 30 days for the year. We've had one piece of equipment out of service. So, sticking in a pretty busy month.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Hearing none?
I just also wanted to encourage people to go out and vote on Tuesday for their fire levy. The union will be out on Sunday morning canvassing anyone who voted in the November election. They'll get a door hanger. So if you already have a door hanger, if you want to throw yours out on Sunday, we won't waste another one on your property. They can move on.
Okay. We thank you very much, sir.
Yep.
Okay, next up, road department, Mr. Stevens.
On the agenda, we've got, just a couple of things. Update on the building, as you all probably seen when you pulled in, our building is now down.
Gone.
It's gone, and it kind of changes the whole.
Look, dude, well, you turn the corner and it's like, wow.
And we're moving forward with it. Pickle Lumber, been in contact with them. They've been waiting to see when the building has got down. The pad, we're not too far away from them coming in and doing what they gotta do. I think we're gonna have to cut out a little section of the asphalt, but we really want to eventually get in and they square everything up and figure it out. But everything is moving forward with that. The only other thing I had on the agenda for today, and I'll have our stats for the next meeting, we didn't get a chance to get it all put together today because we were out on the road. We worked into our budget for this year to replace our oldest zero-turn mowers. We've got two that we're gonna trade in, would like to trade in. We've been out and we've got bids on multiple mowers from multiple vendors. I think what we're looking at is, we've got 15,000 set aside in the budget to do this. And we're possibly looking at one that, because the zero-turn mowers that we have to get aren't the normal zero-turn mowers that anybody's gonna use just to mow their grass. Sometimes these things are cutting grass that's that tall. We're looking at possibly spending up to maybe $12,000 on a zero-turn. And I have all the information on those. The ones that we're trading in now are 8 and 10 years old.
What kind of price are they giving us? Is it better to sell them outright than it is to trade in?
It's been kind of really up and down. At one place, they were only gonna give us $1,200 for both of them. And then at another place, we're looking at 2,500 and 500. So.
I know that you could do better at just power wash them off and list it, and you would be in the 3,000 for each one, just because they are commercial and et cetera.
They've been ran pretty hard.
I understand. There's different, if you
We
look
put them
on.
on gut deals. We don't actually have to trade them in.
Right. I think that you'll make more money that way, because if you look at some different, social media out there where people post and list things, if you look on their comparisons, you'll be shocked at what they go for.
Sure. Yeah, like I said, we can put them on gut deals. We don't necessarily have to trade them in. You know, that price that we're looking at right now, is for a Skag mower. Shaft driven instead of just all belt driven, so it will actually hold up, and it's got a higher
Absolutely.
36 horsepower motor on it, engine on it, so we'll be fine there. And that's the one that's going to be just a little under $12,000. So I guess what I'm asking is for the board to pass a motion, whatever they would need to do in order to allow me to kind of move forward.
So, do you have a resolution, or did you already put anything together?
The only thing
Normally, we need everything
We need to
together.
I'm not asking for a resolution.
I know,
today.
but
I'm
I
just-
didn't know if you want.
We need three quotes.
That's what I'm.
So, what I would do, I don't think that we need a motion at this point, is if you've got 3 of those, and et cetera,
On different motors.
on different mowers, and you ask for a resolution on the one that you want at the next meeting, and then the board would vote on it. So you've already done the work, so I don't think a motion is needed.
I wasn't sure if you guys needed to pass a motion for me to move forward on getting everything put together like we do if we're purchasing anything else. I just wanted to.
Do you already have everything together right there? You got your 3 bids?
Somewhat.
Okay, so
But
let's do
The
this.
next meeting would be with the resolution.
So what I'll do is I'll back up a little bit. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board allows Jim Stevens, road supervisor, to actively seek bids for a said mower zero turn for the application of mowing in the township.
Sure.
If there's no further questions on that, I'd ask for a
I
second.
will second.
I do have a quick question.
Okay,
You said you had how much, I just wanna make sure the money, you have how much set aside?
Set aside 15,000.
And how much, you said one of them is 12?
One of them, it's like 11,400. It's gonna be under 12.
Okay.
Yeah, and these are heavy duty commercial mowers instead of the ones like I would go buy just to go mow my grass in my farm. One,
Oh, you're just getting
or
one.
one.
Okay,
Yeah,
But we're selling
gonna
two.
trade two in, but we're gonna
Gotcha.
sell two.
okay.
Yeah.
And the math
I'm
wasn't
sorry, I
mathing
did.
for me, it was
Yeah, I'm
just
sorry,
like,
I may have confused you.
no, it's fine. I
we
just-
should get, Mike, around 5,500 to 6,000 from my past experiences around mowers, selling.
I'm good, Jim, I just was
Okay.
trying to do the math.
Didn't make any confusion.
Nope, not you.
Okay, so,
We have a motion on the table and a second on the table.
I was gonna say, if there's no further question, do we have a second? You've already seconded. And, if we can have a roll call, sir, when you're ready.
Mr. Reeser,
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman.
Yes.
And Mr. Blevins.
Yes,
Okay, anything else for us? Okay, thank you,
Bring us a
sir.
resolution next time with 3
Well,
quotes.
that's what I plan on doing that. I
Okay.
just wanted to get this part of it ahead.
Gotcha.
I do have a question. Where are we at on summer help?
We have got feelers out there now, and we've got some kids filling out applications now that school's getting out.
Have we put any ads out yet?
I haven't put an ad on.
Because I know there's a lot of stiff competition. this year.
It's it's interesting what I'm finding out right now. It is, and it's also interesting that a lot of people just don't want to work.
And I think we're gonna have to reevaluate our summer pay.
Yeah, we bumped that up this year.
We might have to reevaluate it even more.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay, no worries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
No worries.
You rock.
Yeah,
Fiscal department.
appreciate that.
Sir, I guess that's gonna,
I just have, motions to pay, bills and payroll. Let's see. This is a motion to approve accounts payable. Will be resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board makes a motion to approve accounts payable from April 2025 through April 2025 in the amount of $9,410.58 from electronic voucher number 1115, 2025 through 1121, 2025. Again, in the amount of $9,410.58.
if there's no further questions on said, resolution, I'd ask for a second.
I will second.
And a roll call when you're ready, sir.
Mr. Reeser,
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman,
Yes.
and Mr. Blevins.
yes,
Then the next thing I have is motion to approve payroll. Be resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board makes a motion to approve the employee payroll for the pay period April 6th, 2025 through April 19th, 2025 in the amount of $180,506.68. Direct deposits on April 25th, 2026, and the electronic vouchers were 11/22/2025 through 11/76/2025, as well as elected officials paid for the period of April 1 through April 30th, 2025, in the amount of $6,400.50. And that direct deposit was made on May 1, and the electronic vouchers of 11/78/2025 through 11/80/2025.
If there's no more discussion in regards to the motion, I'd ask for a second.
I will second.
A second, I'd ask for a roll call.
Mr. Weezer,
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman,
Yes.
and Mr. Blevins.
yes.
Next I have, resolutions approving obligations authorized by the township administrator. Whereas the Board of Township Trustees in Resolution 2021-130 authorized the township administrator to approve obligations $10,000 or less on behalf of the township in accordance with section 507.11 of the ORC. And pursuant to the provisions of section 507.11A of the ORC, the obligations approved by the administrator must subsequently be approved by adoption of a formal resolution of the Board of Trustees. The obligations authorized and incurred by the administrator is presented in Exhibit A, which is attached, are hereby approved. All formal actions of this board concerning relating to the adoption of this resolution were passed in an open meeting of this board, and in all deliberations of this board, any of its committees have resulted in such formal action. Board meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the ORC. This resolution shall be declared an emergency and will be in full force effective immediately upon its adoption. And the total was $16,785.
If there's no further question in said resolution, I'd ask for a second.
I'll second.
Here in the second, I'd ask for a roll call.
Mr. Reason,
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman.
Yes.
And Mr. Blevins.
Yes.
The next resolution I have is resolution 2025-060. This is a resolution amending resolution 2024-201 approving ARPA funds. Be it resolved as the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, approves and authorizes the amending of resolution 2024-201, the encumbrance of $25,000 of ARPA funds for the demolition of the road department garage. Be it further resolved that the resolution 2025-060 is to approve and authorize the expenditures from the permanent improvement fund, the demolition of the road department garage in amount not to exceed $25,000. All formal actions of this board concerning or relating to this resolution were passed in an open meeting of the board, and in all deliberations of the board and any of its committees that resulted in such formal actions were in a meeting open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the ORC. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall be declared an emergency, be in full force and effective immediately upon its adoption.
Here in such resolution, I'd ask for a second if there's no further questions.
I will second.
Here in the second, I'd ask for a roll call.
Mr. Leeser,
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman,
Yes.
and Mr. Blevins.
Yes. I had to get caught up, I'm sorry.
If you want, clean it up, I can get it forward, you can see where it duplicates. Let me have it clean
This is,
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll take it.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'll just have it clean out.
I thought it was. Shoot.
That's what I couldn't understand.
Yeah.
That's why I said.
I'm in the wrong total. Yeah, I'm in.
There's no hurry, I told them that they can sign at the end.
Yeah, I don't have April 1st on,
May 1st.
May 1st.
Yours is doing the same thing mine did.
It's not updated.
Yep. I have to give it to Nicole afterwards.
Yeah.
Same thing, same problem mine had.
Okay.
All right, the next resolution,
I'm good.
I have 2025-061. It's a resolution approving a new roof on Firehouse 192. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board approves and authorizes the installation of a new roof on Firehouse 192, and I have the quote exhibit attached. Be it further resolved that the roof replacement quote from Allied Roofing is $89,767. The insurance company will submit to the township a payment of $74,970.44 as payment for the roof replacement. The township is financially responsible for the $2,500 deductible and the remaining balance of $12,296.56. Be it resolved that all formal actions of this board concerning and related to this resolution were passed in an open meeting of the board, and that all deliberations of the board and its committees have resulted in such formal actions were meeting open in public, in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the ORC. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall be declared an emergency and be in full force and effective immediately upon its adoption. What I do want to let you gentlemen know is that the $12,296.56 will come out of the township's permanent improvement fund, much like the demolition of the building.
Okay. If there's no further questions on the matter, I'd ask for a second.
I would second that, but I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
Allied is the company that, bailed us out with the roof issue here.
And at 193.
And
So everything here, I forgot to ask about that, we're taken care of now here, it's all done?
The contractor's due in next week to begin, working on Robin's office, and he'll repair the leak in the roof,
Gotcha.
and he'll do all the repairs inside her office as well. Jim has been kind enough to loan me a couple guys so we can start
Moving
pulling the
stuff.
furniture out of Robin's office.
Okay. So we have a second,
Yeah.
Roll call whenever you're ready, sir.
Mr. Fleshman,
Yes.
Mr. Leeser,
yes.
Mr. Levens.
Yes,
Chief, how many quotes did we have? 4, 5 different quotes?
I knew we had difficulty getting some of the people here to.
But once Chief did, they were rolling in. The next resolution is 2025-062, resolution approving the repairs of the roof for the township building. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board approves and authorizes roof and wall repairs to the Township Administrative Building at Firehouse 193 in the amount not to exceed $10,000. And again, the quote is attached. Be it resolved that all formal actions of this board concerning and related to this resolution were passed in an open meeting of the board. All deliberations of the board and its committees have resulted in such formal actions. We're meeting open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the ORC. This resolution shall be declared emergency and be in full force and effective immediately upon its adoption.
Hearing said resolution, is there any questions?
I have some questions.
Okay, sir.
Oh, you're ready? I
No,
thought
no,
you
no.
were ready.
No.
You're good, Mike.
So,
Mr. Blow.
we're talking that office back there, correct? $1,800 to paint that room? Correct?
Yes.
$1,800 to put in a new floor? Okay.
I mean, the thing
That's
is,
maybe what you find
Well, what-
to be about right, I find that to be outlandish, so,
Well, it's
okay, I've got
quality.
my questions answered, so.
It's just quality. I mean, we can cut that down.
No, that's fine. I got my questions answered, I'm good to go.
So,
I mean, I see pricing all the time and that falls in line with
You
that.
answered my question.
I'm kind of like-minded, and I know that we need to get it done. You know, is it a gallon of paint and it's $1,800, so you've got $1,700 profit, but I get it. But, you know, it's one of those things, we gotta take everything out of there, we gotta get it done so that
No.
business goes on.
He's taking he's having
Right,
his people
right.
take everything out. This isn't the crew coming in taking
I
everything
know,
out.
that's why I said that we're taking, I'm like-minded with you that the cost of that, to get that done, and we've had several quotes, and trying to get someone that can do a quality job. I do not like spending that kind of money, because I'm thinking to myself, every time I painted my house, how much was it gonna be, and et cetera, but, I hate it, but I don't know what else that we can do.
I've got my.
Okay.
Good.
If there's no further questions, I'd ask for a second.
I will second.
And a roll call when you're ready, sir.
Mr. Leeser,
Yes.
Mr. Fleishman,
Yes.
and Mr. Blevins.
No.
Next resolution I have is 2025-063. It's a resolution approving dumpster rental for cleanup on South Wilson Road and West Broad Street. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board approves and authorizes expenditure of funds not to exceed $1,240 for the rental of refuge dumpsters to clean up the lot located at the corner of Wilson Road and West Broad Street. Be it resolved that all formal actions of this board concerning and related to this resolution were passed in an open meeting of the board, and that all deliberations of this board and any of its committees have resulted in such formal actions were a meeting open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the ORC. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall be declared emergency and be in full force and effective immediately upon its adoption.
If there's no said questions in the matter, I'd ask for a second.
I will second it, but I have a question. And this funds are coming out of which, the money's coming out of which funds? Do we,
This is, a road department fund, is that correct, Jim?
I think it was, that's what we wrote.
okay, that's all I needed.
We didn't have it appropriated in the general fund, but I have.
No,
It's not coming out of the road, it's coming out of the road department, but not the road, the funding.
It's all the same.
Okay.
And, yeah, when Jim said he's cleaning up the lot, I said, go get the dumpsters, and we'll take care of this at the next meeting. So
We
we
got
have a second from you,
Yep.
okay.
And a roll call when you're ready, sir.
Mr. Leeser,
Yes.
Mr. Fleishman,
Yes.
and Mr. Blevins.
Yes.
And the next resolution I have is it's a resolution approving payment to the city of Columbus for capital improvement project on Briggs Road. Be resolved that the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board approved the resolution 2025-022 to enter into an agreement with the city of Columbus to resurface the south travel lane on Briggs Road from Brixton Road to Demorest Road. At the college. And be it resolved that all formal actions of this board concerning and relating to this resolution were passed in an open meeting of the board, and that all deliberations of the board and any of its committees that resulted in such formal actions were in a meeting open to the public, in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the ORC. This resolution shall be declared emergency and be in full force and effective immediately upon its adoption.
If there's no questions in regards to said motion, I would ask for a second.
I will second.
And roll call when you're ready.
Mr. Leeser,
Yes.
Mr. Fleishman,
Yes.
and Mr. Blevins.
Yes.
And aside from this resolution, I put right behind it is another sheet that the trustees need to sign as well. I need to sign something before we go to, not right now. The next resolution I have, is 2025-065. It's protesting the potential acquisition of 920 Wilson Road by the Community Shelter Board. And whereas it is the understanding of the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Ohio, that the Community Shelter Board is or may enter into an agreement to purchase real property located at 920 Wilson Road, Columbus, Ohio, 43204, AKA Franklin County parcel 010-212-113-00. The location of a former Econo Lodge Hotel, which we'll refer to as the property. The property is located adjacent to the unincorporated area of the township. However, the property receives township emergency services through a mutual aid agreement with the city of Columbus, included but not limited to police, fire, and EMS services. As a result of the proximity of the property to the township, the provision of township services and the expenditure of township funds as a result of said services, the township has a vested interest in the operations of the property. Whereas without additional information about the CSB's intention for the property, the board does not support CSB's potential acquisition of the property. Whereas the board believes it is in the best interest of the township and its residents to adopt this resolution. Now therefore be it resolved by the board that the board protests the acquisition of the property by CSB due to the strain of CSB's potential operations on township resources and services. The board authorizes and instructs the township administrator, Steve Mazur, with the assistance of legal counsel, to correspond with the city of Columbus regarding the township's position on the potential acquisition of the property. The board authorizes and instructs township administrator, Steve Mazur, with the assistance of legal counsel, to correspond with CSB to invite a CSB representative to attend a board meeting for the purpose of discussing CSB's operations and intentions with the property. It is found and determined that all formal actions of this board concerning and relating this passage of this resolution were taken in an open meeting of this board, and that all deliberations of this board and any of its committees have resulted in such formal actions were in open meetings to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including without limitation, Section 121.22 of the ORC. This resolution shall take effect and be enforced from and after the earliest time provided by law. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall be declared emergency, be in full force and effective immediately upon its adoption.
Any questions in regards to said resolution? Hearing none, I'd ask for a second.
I will second.
And a roll call, sir, when you're ready.
Mr. Leisure,
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman,
Abstain.
and Mr. Blevins.
Yes.
Yeah, this one.
I'm gonna jump to the bottom here first, John.
Okay. Liquor approval.
Yeah, this is approval of a liquor permit ownership change. I talked with the chief about this the other day. He doesn't have any issues or complaints from the applicant. What it looks like is there's an ownership change where there were partners that were equal 50-50 in this venture. And now there's just one owner that holds 100% of the store.
Okay. So, we need
Just
to,
need a motion
a
for
motion?
approval, and
Okay.
then what I have to have done, this is why I need Jim here.
so, go ahead.
On this particular form, we need the township fiscal officer's signature, but since the board has appointed Jim as a temporary deputy, he has the ability to sign this form.
Okay. So moved on said, motion. If I can have a second, if there's no questions in said matter.
I will second.
Hearing the second, I'd ask for a roll call.
Mr. Leeser,
Yes.
Mr. Fleishman.
Yes.
And Mr. Blevins.
Yes.
You want us to sign that now?
Jim has to, sign that, it has to be.
We don't
signed.
have to sign?
Not that
Okay.
particular document.
Okay, man, he's an important man.
The next one, we'll go to K, Chairman. This is a motion to approve and sign the AEP easement agreement. What this has to deal with is we are bringing additional power from across Frank Road to this property to power the road department building.
Sure.
So I had Julie go through this agreement, and she tweaked it a little bit, to make the wording a little preferential to the township to make sure that anything on the easement gets addressed correctly, properly. So on this, what I need is, the chairman's signature, and then, is Nicole in there, chief?
Yeah, I believe so.
And then Nicole?
Yeah.
I will need you, when you get a chance, to notarize the chairman's signature.
Okay.
So I just need a motion to approve this.
So if there's no, said, questions in regard to a motion, I would ask for a second.
I will second the motion, but I have a question. So they're bringing, this is for bringing it across the road all the way back to the new location?
It'll run the side of the property here between.
Yeah, all the way back to the new location with the drop. Wow.
I don't know whether they would bring it.
Well, I'm just making sure that we're getting it all the way, not
Yeah.
just stopping over here.
Yeah.
No, it's
Because
the
of the-
corner here.
It's supposed to be, the gentleman from AEP said they're gonna bring it all the way to where we're gonna drop.
Yeah, so it's one seamless.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go ahead, roll call, please.
Mr. Leeser,
Yes,
Mr. Fleishman,
Yes.
and Mr. Blevins.
Yes.
I'm just a little shocked at the aid and construction costs because I've seen them for a lot less, a lot more expensive. A lot more expensive.
And the next item I have,
Now, when we started to fill this out, where do I need to sign? Do I print and then sign? Right here, in the bottom? Okay. So by is me, correct? Want me to raise my right hand or anything?
and the next item I have is I need a motion, and again, this will be the chairman's signature. And I'll read the amendment, which addresses the need for the motion. This is an amendment to a memorandum of understanding and agreement between Jefferson Township, Madison Township, and Prairie Township Board of Trustees. This is an amendment to memorandum of understanding and agreement entered into May 1, 2025, by and between the boards of Jefferson Township, Madison Township, Prairie Township, and Franklin Township, collectively known as the Townships. The townships previously entered into a memorandum of understanding and agreement that was not dated but approved in 2022. The prior agreement concerning the appointment of James Jewell, Administrator of Prairie Township, to the Central Ohio Community Improvement Corporation, known as COSIG, Board of Directors, in order to fill the seat available for the townships on the board of COSIG. and likewise appointed Michelle Reynolds as the alternative or backup township representative on the Board of COSIC in the event James Jewell was unable to attend such meetings. The parties wish to change the alternate or backup to the township representative on the COSIC board from Michelle Reynolds to Rod Pritchard. Mr. Pritchard is a trustee in Prairie Township. The parties being in agreement with the background explanation and understanding set forth above hereby amend the prior agreement and hereby designate Rod Pritchard to be the alternate or backup as the township representative at the COSIC board meetings at which the appointed township board representative, Mr. Jewell, cannot attend. Rod Pritchard will exercise any and all authority permitted to them in their capacity as a township alternative in cases where James Jewell is not able to attend a given COSIC meeting. In testimony whereof, the authorized representatives of the party have signed this amendment on or as of the date first stated above. And this, John, just for clarification for the other board members, when we attended Chet Cheney approached us and wanted to know our population. So now we are voting members of COSIC.
Okay.
So I just need your signature on this form, John,
Okay.
under the township.
So do we need to run this across the table?
Yes.
Okay, so be
It's a
it.
motion, yes.
Yes, so with, this motion being heard, is there any questions? Hearing none, I'd ask for a second.
No second.
Yeah, I have a second, sir, if you, do a roll call.
Mr. Leeser,
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman,
Yes,
and Mr. Blevins.
Yes.
so I'm just signing where it says Franklin Township, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And I'll get that back to,
and for some people that heard the name Michelle Reynolds, it's now Senator Reynolds.
And she's no longer a senator.
Is she, what's she now?
She's no longer, she's got takeaway in Madison County.
So Senator, that's what I said, she's Senator.
Yeah. I said she's no longer our.
Oh, gotcha.
That's why she has to be removed.
Okay. The party, not the party lines, but the lines were
Yep.
redeveloped.
then the last thing for discussion with the trustees, meeting times.
I'll take it. This is a carryover from a meeting that James happened to miss, and we didn't want to do anything.
Sure.
And then I happened to miss, so it got pushed to today's meeting. So, James, John already heard this deal, but I'll give it to you. So I checked 14 other townships, and us and one other township was the only ones that was basically holding meetings during the day. And we had spoke, John and I, and some audience participation about maybe changing some of our meeting times to the evening alternate during the summer to, excuse me, to see if there's any difference in the attendance of people coming to the meetings. Sometimes when I talk to people, they'll say, that gentleman that was here today that first spoke, he took a day off of work today to be able to come here to represent himself quite eloquently, I'd like to say too. He had to miss work in order to do that. So if we were meeting in the evenings once a month, he would have the opportunity to come during the evening time. And sometimes people say they want that, and they don't, because when I ran my campaign, I told people that I would come and have office hours here, and I did it for a couple of months, and no one showed up. So I stopped doing it, and I still get people that'll call me and say, I can't get a hold of anybody, and I said, it's not true. You know what I'm trying to say, I was willing to be here. I gave office hours and no one came, so I'm not saying it's going to make a difference. I would say that I would like to see us give it a try for the summer months and see if we can get some people to come, start at around 6 o'clock or so.
So what we've done before, we always did the 5:30 because we had other people that, you know, were getting off work or et cetera. What if we did, this is May 1st, it's ironic, what if we did May 1st through August 1st? And utilize the first meeting of every month would be in the evening, or vice versa, the second meeting of the month would be in the evening. Whichever way, we would go through August first, and then we'll see what
I'm
happens.
just willing to, I'd like to see us give something a try.
Yeah,
I'm happy to
I'm-
do either one.
I'm happy, any thoughts on that? So, do we wanna just,
Say 5:30?
5:30 is good, so,
I'm tired of talking about it,
Yep,
so.
yep, so I got it. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board has met today, May 1st, and has decided to move business meetings starting May 1st through August 1st, the first meeting of every month.
Or you pass that.
That's just-
The meeting, you broke my concentration.
Uh-huh.
I know today's May 1st starting, that means today's the resolution start date. That the meetings will be held at Frank Road, starting, the first business meeting of the month through August 1st will be at 5:30 PM, followed by the second meeting of the month will be at the original time, 12 o'clock.
So we're doing the first meeting of the month.
So it'll
You
be-
wanna do the first, or you wanna do it the other way?
I
It'll
said the
be-
second.
Oh, I
Okay.
thought we were doing, so you wanna do the
So
next
this is the
meeting?
first one of the month.
Yeah, well, I
Okay.
just wanted to give
So we would
people,
start in June then with the
yeah, we
first
were just
meeting.
gonna start
Yeah,
in
okay,
June.
okay.
June? I
Okay,
thought we were
so-
gonna do June, July, August?
Yeah, because
Okay.
we're like,
We
she
can do
was
that.
trying to say, we're at May 1st.
I thought that
I
That's
don't
what I was-
wanna I wanna give it plenty of time, so this gives people 30 days to get acclimated that
Okay.
the first meeting
In
in June
So
will be
the
at
first meeting,
5:30.
okay, so the first meeting in June will be at 5:30, followed by the second meeting being at the regular scheduled time at 12 o'clock. June's meeting is going to be, on the 12th at 5:30. The follow-up meeting of that month will be on the 26th at 12 o'clock.
Thank you.
Any further?
Are you gonna post that like on
Yes.
the We Are Frank?
Let me finish the
Franklin
resolution.
Township?
I know, but we gotta finish the resolution before we interrupt. So if there's no further questions from the board, if I could have a second,
I'll second.
okay? And a roll call when you're ready.
Mr. Leeser,
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman,
Yes,
and Mr. Glenn.
Yes,
and I'll take a quick question, go ahead.
People get off work at 5 o'clock, the way traffic is, why not just make it 6 o'clock?
Well, we just made it
We made it
5.
5.
Well,
5:30. Did we say 5 or
We
5:30?
said 5:30.
Okay,
It's gonna
5:30.
be tough for people to get in here. I know the traffic on this road. It's
That's why
really
I
stupid.
was trying to say, raise my hand 6 o'clock.
It's 5:30.
Okay.
Okay.
And then when nobody comes,
Sir, anything
Yeah.
else?
One last thing, we gotta thank Nicole for handling payroll duties while Robin was out. So, yeah, Nicole handled, what, 2 payrolls? And knock on wood,
Everything went good?
no issues, no issues. So that was a big relief for everybody.
That's great. I think Robin did a great job showing her how to put everything together, and not that Nicole's not smart enough to figure it out, but I think the office staff working together makes a huge difference.
It does,
Okay.
it does.
I do not have, Mr. Leeser?
Anything I was gonna speak on was Ricker, and we beat that horse till it's drawn flies, so.
Okay, I think everything we covered I had in the meeting. Mr. Levens, do you have?
2 quick things. I
Sure.
want to thank my fellow trustees. I was absent for 2 weeks and took a vacation, and they all covered covered my spot. I received a few phone calls. I think during that time, I spoke to all the department heads over those 2 weeks several times. I spoke to Mr. Mazer, but I just wanted to thank you.
You just don't know what a vacation is, do you?
Covering up. And lastly, I want to let everyone know that the Franklin Heights Scholarship has been fulfilled for this year. We had applicants, and the committee met and was able this year to pick one young man and one young lady from Franklin Heights. Mr. Mazer will be presenting that tomorrow morning. And we will have the young people come in and receive their check here from the trustees at a later date, as long as they can fulfill their obligations with a letter from the college or trade school they decide to go to, so I just wanted to let everybody know. So if you have a young person, especially males, we seem to have a hard time getting applicants that are males. We only had one male this year, none last year. Scholarships open to any male that lives in the township, so attends Franklin Heights High School. So I just wanted to get that out there, and that's all I have, sir.
Sure.
I'm gonna send you an email with the Webster's definition of vacation.
Okay. I would like to say also a great, gratitude that you've done by putting this together. For some time ago, I remember when you were sitting back there and you brought up Franklin Heights High School and it being in the township and et cetera, and that it's been, something heavy on your heart that you've done. So as a board member, and I'm sure, our other board member, Mr. Leeser shows gratification
I
as
do,
well.
and I also like to say, make sure it's on the record that all the funding from this
100%.
is private money, no taxpayer dollars are
Right.
going to this.
Right, so I do commend you on that. With that being said, it is now approximately 1:59 and we are adjourned. Thank you.
See you.
Mr. Stevens, I'll get with you tomorrow. I want to get a little bit of an idea of which
Smith,
numbers we're selling.
If you need me to meet you up there, say, holler at me.
Okay.
I'm around the corner.
And how many
My
hours?
time is leveled up, evened out now because she's back driving, so there's no slowing her down now. She gone.
Good for sharing.
Huh?
For the wedding.
I say good for